Great day to all, and welcome to the X Factors to Success podcast radio show. I am your host, Ruggero Fratarcangeli, also known as the G-Man. And a reminder, the 5 X Factors to your success is faith, family and friends, fitness, finance, and fun. I call this the circle of F's to achieve your joy, peace, love, and true happiness in your journey of life. And today's guest is Ayesha Ogle, and she is a wonderful young lady who's had a wonderful journey that she's going to share with us today. She was born and raised in South Africa in 1967, one of 10 children, raised by struggling parents. Father worked and stayed at home. Mother. Her father was very religious, raised in an Islamic home, and his belief was children are seen but not heard. Even laughing got her into trouble. And as a reminder, she has a vision board that says, laughed often. They were often punished for not praying. Reading was Ayesha's saving grace. She read everything she could lay her hands on, from Shakespeare to classics to poetry. Reading was her escapism. It opened her up to a world other than the one she lived in. She knew at a young age she was going to travel the world and live in another country. Her father didn't believe in education for girls, so she had to run away from her home to go to college, and at age 17 and graduated at 21 years of age as a registered nurse. College helped her come into her own. Her son was born 6 months before graduating, and he became her motivation to keep moving and growing. Ayesha's first opportunity to travel came at age 22 when she arrived in Los Angeles, California, and fell in love with the United States and met her husband at age 27. Had 3 more children and moved to the U.S. in 2004 when she got hired to a hospital in L.A. While living in L.A., they always gave back to the needy, and her children were always an integral part of giving. They arrived to the U.S. with 4 children, suitcases, and a couple of boxes, but she always knew they had to continue giving back no matter what the circumstances. Through contacts Ayesha's father had in Malawi, Africa, they initially began by financially supporting families, and this led them to create Hosea Foundation, which focuses on empowering children through education. She continued to empower herself through education and went on to achieve her master's in nursing, and currently work as a nurse practitioner in an underserved community in Lancaster, California. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, please welcome Ayesha Ogle. Ayesha, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Ruggero. I appreciate being on your show.
Thank you for taking time.
Thank you for having me.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you. I know that you and I met about 1.5 years ago, almost 2 years ago, at a 5-day seminar with Jack Canfield.
Yes.
Called the Breakthrough to Success.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that was an amazing seminar. Absolutely amazing. And I feel so grateful to having met you.
Same here. I know I had a long bio of you, and it's very impressive what you've done so far in your life's journey, Ayesha. And I'd love to share your journey with my audience, and hopefully it can empower others when they listen to your story and the trials and tribulations that you went through and the success you have achieved. And again, our show here is to talk about the X factors to success: faith, family and friends, fitness, finance, and of course fun. And we want to just have a casual conversation and learn more about you. And I know that we haven't spoken for a while, but we got in contact just recently to invite you on the show, and you said absolutely you are grateful for it. So here you are today on our show.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Ayesha, I always ask the first question to all my guests. How would you define success? So what's your definition of success?
So, Ruggero, my definition of success is living a life that is consistent with your inner purpose. So I see success not as a destination, but as a journey. And I see it just as living in the flow of your life and just allowing your life to unfold without resisting anything that shows up. And that may be good and may be perceived as bad. Just allow it to happen. The way I liken it's like swimming downstream. And, you're swimming and there's an energy, a force that is propelling you downstream. And whatever obstacles there are, there's always this current and this force that is navigating you past these obstacles. And I believe too, that to access is to be fully present, fully engaged in your life, to allow this greater power through you, which I define as success. Just allowing yourself your purpose.
That's very powerful. Very powerful. Now, based upon the bio that I just read, you are one of the 10 children of your family.
Yes.
And can you tell us more about this journey of yours at a very young age, as you ran away, and something had to motivate you? And I'm going again. It's motivating you now as you continue to grow your journey. Can you share with us maybe a little bit about your journey, that you ran away, you went to school, and then you came to the States? Can you give us a little bit more of a background there?
Yeah, so I think for sure I have to attribute my motivation and determination through reading. Because reading, this as a little girl growing up in Africa, and not knowing anybody that had traveled abroad, reading pretty much took me to places that I would have never known about. That had definitely planted the seed for me. And I knew at a very young age that I pretty much could determine the outcome, had a big part in determining the outcome of my life. And I knew at a young age that I wanted to live the best version of my life, and just continue to grow and expand and be a positive role model to, my family and today and to my children and to just the community at large.
Beautiful. And the best version of yourself, as you indicated, you're reading Shakespeare, poetry, and during those times, and I know that you have a vision board now and you continue maybe revising your vision board. What were the visions that you had at a young age that maybe you could inspire others also, and maybe a young age right now who are listening to this podcast might be inspired by your journey? Did you visualize? What was the process that you had in order to move forward, to move upward?
So I just knew, obviously, like I said, the reading played a role in it. But I also knew that my life and the way things were at that point in time, there were many limitations, there were many setbacks, there were many obstacles. But I knew in the depths of my soul that there was more to life than that. And even though I hadn't seen it being demonstrated, I hadn't seen anybody, there were no role models for me, but I just knew it. And I knew that to be true. I knew that I could dream and imagine and picture anything I wanted for myself, and that it would be true. It would work out for me.
Okay, so what are you most passionate right now overall in life about?
So I'm passionate right now one of the things is that my prayer has always been to serve others. Just because having come from where I come from, I know that the possibilities that exist within each of us. And I've always wanted to communicate that in some way to people that are in disadvantaged situations. So what I'm passionate about now, for sure, my career has led me to what I'm doing right now, which was not on my radar at all. I hadn't planned it. So as a nurse practitioner working in an underserved community in this country, being able to give back in ways that I never imagined, because I always imagined America as this dream of country of milk and honey and land of opportunity.
Right.
But God has actually put me in a position where I'm now instrumental in serving and changing lives on a very influential level. But I'm also very passionate about the foundation that we have, which we started back in 2012. Okay. And the foundation has certainly changed our lives and given my life more meaning depth, more purpose.
Ayesha, we talked about offline that this foundation. Can you tell us more? Give us the exact pronunciation of the foundation, so we can talk about it. I believe that you had it 12 years ago, and it's a family. It's for family run, right? It's a 501c. Give us more about.
Yes. Yeah, so it is, we are incorporated in the state of California, but the foundation, the pronunciation is Busisa.
Busisa, okay.
And Busisa, yes, Busisa actually means blessings.
There you go.
In Zulu. Zulu is one of the ethnic languages in South Africa. So we founded the Busisa Foundation to serve children in Malawi. And the reason why we targeted, even though I'm not from Malawi,
okay,
the reason why we chose Malawi is because Malawi is one of the poorest countries in Africa.
Okay.
So we know that poverty in Africa is real. I mean, it's like, it's pretty mind-blowing, you know. But to have this country that literally has nothing, and we've traveled several times to Malawi, and it really just has a very special place in my heart. And another reason why we chose Malawi, there's a lot of children, orphan children in Malawi.
Is that so?
That have lost parents to either malaria or AIDS. So a lot of the children in our organization are orphans. So,
how many children would you say that right now that your organization is supporting right now, doing your best to support them?
Well, right now is 148, and 148 is just literally scratching the surface,
right,
of the magnitude of the need. But we had to cut down and literally tailor down because of affordability, because we have pretty much been running this from personal funds.
Now, the foundation is also, your family is very involved, as I understand, correct?
Yes.
And your children are very, very active in this area. And they see you as a role model in your story, and they can see the benefit, to serve others, be of service of others. And that's strong faith, Ayesha. And it's principles and values.
Thank you.
That's beautiful to see that you are making a difference in the world. Again, one person at a time. The first 140 some odd children right now. And again, if we all partake in some activity to make the world better, think how much we could really move our direction of the world to create harmony and peace. And
absolutely.
And that's what you're doing. It's so beautiful. So you definitely can see the passion that you're doing. And you have mentioned that role models. What would you say one or two or three role models that you may have had in your journey up to now?
Well, my main role model has been my mother, because she has really taught me to be the woman I am today and demonstrated it, because she really kept a very stable home in the face of adversity. And I'm the woman I am and wife and homemaker I am today because of her demonstration. And secondly, I know it kind of sounds a little bit cliche, but I want to say that Oprah has played a big role in my personal growth, because I had to reach out of my family circle and out of anybody I knew to try to find some kind of meaning and purpose to life. And being in South Africa, we had access to her shows and eventually like her magazines. And I actually coined the nickname Oprah because I would quote her, I would listen, I would follow like whatever she would recommend, I would practice. So it really, I didn't realize it at that stage, but it really shaped the woman I am today. And it really gave me that added boost and added confidence to move on.
Sure. She is very informational. As a matter of fact, when I was reading your bio, it reminded me, for some reason, of Oprah, her contribution, her school that she started in Africa. So I could see how she was influential in that. Okay. And
Yes.
again, you see how one person leads to another person. It creates the compound effect of inspiring and motivating another person to take action and to be of service of others. So,
Absolutely, absolutely. And then person also, I mean, he's an author, he's a very influential person, is Eckhart Tolle. Because even though I don't know if you're familiar with him, he's the author of The Power of Now.
yes, Eckhart Tolle. I've
So,
been following him as well. Uh,
yes,
and what have you read from him lately? What would you say you have you done?
I've read I've read The Power of Now, read A New Earth, I've read If Stillness Speaks. I pretty much, I mean, if I don't have it on a hard copy, I have audio. I listen to his YouTube videos all the time. But what it has done for me is, even though I kind of thought I had it all together, I didn't realize there was still stuff within me that I needed to deal with, that I had to go into and face challenges within me that I didn't even know existed. But I knew that there was some drawbacks, some challenges, that I thought it was just life. And I started following Eckhart Tolle's work, and I started turning the lens inside of me, and I realized that there was work that needed to be done
Right.
within.
Again, change begins from the inside,
Yes.
right? And when we're able to have clarity
Yeah.
of purpose, one of the key principles to success, be clear of what you want, be clear of the purpose, and take 100% responsibility
Respond.
for your life and results. And we can't stop blaming. As you and I know from the seminar of Breakthrough to Success and studying Jack Canfield's work, E plus R equals O.
Oh, exactly. Absolutely. And also, just to realize that whatever shows up in your life is usually a real reflection of what's going on within. So it's like like looking at yourself in the mirror. If you don't like what you see, you fix yourself. You don't start beating up the mirror. And a lot of us walk through life projecting outwardly, whereas we need to go within and fix it, and then the goodness will show up
Yeah,
on the
absolutely.
outside.
Absolutely. And I'm truly believe in that. And again, one of the exercises that we've done, remember at the seminar, the mirror exercise, and
Yes.
for 30 days. And I still do it, not for 30 days, but at times I'll look in the mirror before I go to bed and say, I am grateful. What difference do you make? And I say to myself, I love you. And we have to really say, I love you, and really believe that you are making a difference in yourself, and search within the soul and be clear and elevate the good spirits of one's soul. And I truly exercise that many times over. And I also share this exercise with others. And when people find themselves lost or confused or losing their way in their life's journey. So,
Wow.
gotten so much success right now. And people say, well, success, but you came to this country, but you work hard. You work hard.
Yes.
You're a mother. You're a mother of 4 children, and you have to balance this very much. What would you say your biggest challenge, or challenge, or that you've had so far to handle the load of work that you're doing right now?
For me, my biggest challenge has been to try to strategize my time and time management. And I often find myself saying, I've been busy, I'm busy, I'm busy. And I'm trying to relook that statement, because I realize that there's more to it than just my words. I have to take ownership for that. That is something that I'm just pushing aside and putting on the back burner and not dealing with. But I have to own it and try to figure out a way to take care of it. So, that's biggest challenge for me now at this point in time.
Now, I'm sure you learn. There's a learning process there in the challenge and the mistakes or the failures that you make, right?
Right.
We all take part of that. So, people say that you're lucky. Are people just lucky, you think?
I'm kind of like a little partial on that. I would say yes and no. I would say that true success, as I've stated before, is totally being in alignment with your inner state, where your inner state is pretty much dictating your outer purpose. And people that achieve success, and yes, people do get lucky. People win lots of money. People come into wealth, in different ways. People that do achieve wealth and so-called success in this way, if they're not in a place of receptivity within them, then whatever they've achieved can actually come in as almost as a curse in their lives. It can destroy their lives, or it could work against them.
I agree.
So, and I think that's what we see as luck, like, oh, she got lucky, but is she ready to receive the gift that's given?
Perfect analogy. Lottery winners, they win lots of money. And study shows within 3 to 5 years, all the money they have luckily won, they lost, and they became bankrupt, and they destroyed the family and friends, and very drastic situations happen to those individuals. Because, yes, they have the wealth, but the mindset, the mind, the purpose is not in alignment. And it's interesting to see when you say wealth, money. It's not all that. It's the definition of are you serving the best version of yourself and contribution.
Exactly. Because you can have the makings of success on the outside and be bankrupt inside.
Wow.
And I think that's a very painful, torment place to be in. So I do and don't believe in luck.
We create our own, a prepared mind, a prepared person attracts the luck, and whatever success means to the individual. Could be a teacher teaching for many, many years, a chef, a person who's a gardener, a success. I mean, and that's the level of they're doing to the best of their ability. So, Ayesha, you have this foundation. You have a wonderful family. You're you're serving an underserved community as a practitioner nurse. Do you have a breakthrough goal that you have in the next year or so you want to share with the audience? Or one breakthrough goal that you have a vision on your vision board?
Right. So my ultimate breakthrough goal for us to have schools in Africa, because education is liberating, and I see myself as a living example and demonstration of that. But I would for sure want to expand Busisa to make a difference to millions of children in Africa. I want to sit with you one day and say, we've now touched the lives of so many million children rather than where we are right now. So that is a goal, to try to expand. And also to motivate and inspire people in Africa. And I'd like to start with my home country of South Africa, and just let people know that their worth and power lies within them, and help them realize that, and help tap into the sources that already exist within them in order to make a difference in their lives.
It's very humanitarian of you because of your personal journey. And you said quite eloquently, when you have education elevates the world to a whole new level. And we need more of you out there, Ayesha. We need more of you. And again, it starts with one person and a compound effect. And I wish you all the best. And those of you listening up, folks, this is a pure example of an individual who's committed, who has a vision to make a difference and to create that momentum. If we all put our mind together, start with oneself, and then share. Again, our purpose in this journey of life is to provide the service to others. Whatever you serve out there comes back to you even more so. And there's always that the universal law,
Absolutely.
Beautiful. So, do you have any specific goals to end this year that you have in mind? I know that we have 2018 is just around the corner. Actually, it's almost 3 more months to go. But you have any specific goal? I mean, I know you mentioned about the long-term goal, breakthrough goal, but anything specific that you want to share with the audience?
Well, I actually do, yes. So we actually started a library which pretty much, I don't know if library is even the correct definition.
Okay.
In the center that we have in this village that we run our program, and it's been so successful. We've had a lot of children come in even after school, because we initially started it for the weekends, but kids come in after school and they sit and read books. So we for sure want to improve and expand on this library. So we're looking to hopefully either raise money or maybe get some sponsorship of children's books that we could put into the library. And we also, sorry.
No, is this in Malawi or in your community in LA?
In Malawi.
Malawi, okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because English is the second language there. So the children learn English in school, and they have to pass English in order to pass the exam. So,
okay.
Right. And even though it's not spoken at home, they have to know the language. So we've had a lot of English books in our library so they can read and try to perfect the language that way.
So this is what, when you grew up in your South Africa, you learned the language of Zulu?
South Africa is predominantly English speaking.
English, right?
So I grew up speaking English.
Okay.
Yeah. But, the different countries in Africa is different. They have their ethnic languages, which is generally the spoken language.
Correct.
And then English is secondary. And then also right now we provide meals for the children, which we're only able to do once a week, unfortunately. We do that every Saturday. So since 2012, every Saturday we've provided a warm, cooked, nutritious meal for the kids. And our intention is try to have that every day because, malnutrition, undernutrition is a big, huge problem in Malawi.
How about medical attention? Are you working on that as well? Or there are other organizations that you work in conjunction with?
I haven't done anything medically. I mean, I'd love to eventually. I was very excited, though, to see that Madonna has built a children's hospital in the same city where my organization is. So, there are some big players that are contributing, but there's so much work to be done. But one of the other goals for this year is we're going to build a kitchen or a cooking area for the children, because that's a little bit challenging right now.
Okay.
And also we're increasing our scholarship funding for the kids. So a lot of them are getting ready to go to college.
At what age do they go to college, Ayesha? What's the age? What would you say?
I want to say the average age is about 16, 17, some 18, almost very much like here.
Okay. Awesome. So you're very inspiring in the work. You see, you're very grounded and determined into achieving the goals that you want to achieve for obviously a great cause. What would you say? One book that really inspired you. If you would sum up one book, what's one book that inspired you the most? I know you mentioned a few things before, and you followed the Eckhart Tolle and one of the last books, again, The Power of Now. But what's one book?
Yeah. Well, that's exactly what I was going to say.
Okay. All right. That's perfect.
The Power of Now really was a very great inspiration to me. And I think that's the reason why I kind of latched to Eckhart Tolle's work and just studied it more and more and more. And the more I studied it, the more it made sense, because anytime you're fully present in whatever it is you're doing, your presence is the channel for something bigger than you to come through. And that's how I see it. And that's how I feel it. I experience it, especially when dealing with my sick patients. I know it. I can feel a power bigger than me when I'm fully plugged in and fully present.
So, this is one book. If are there any other books that you would recommend to the audience to enlighten them? What would you recommend?
Well, one of the other ones was Dr. Wayne Dyer, who's also been a big inspiration to me. And the book just, I have no idea how it came to me, but the book actually found me. I didn't find the book.
Uh-huh.
And this is the book I take when we go on vacation, on a flight. I read this book over and over. It's called Real Magic, Creating Miracles in Everyday Life. And it's by Dr. Wayne Dyer. And it's almost like a summary of everything he's ever written, but it's beautiful. It's just very uplifting and inspiring.
And thank you for recommending to the audience, Real Magic. No, that one there, I don't have that on my bookshelf, so I'm gonna put that in the show notes also, and make sure everyone picks that book.
I can.
Okay, there you go. It's one of his earlier books, right?
Yes. Yes.
Beautiful.
But it's just it's a beautiful piece of reading. You can feel his heart in it.
Awesome.
And then, secondly,
yep.
It's a book by Lucille Willis, and I know you've met her and you've interviewed her, and she's just a phenomenal and an amazing.
Guess what I have right here.
and
we're both showing each other the same book. Absolutely, absolutely. So tell us about Lucille Willis.
Yeah.
She's one of our common friends as well. She's also an awesome human being. But tell us more about your relationship with Lucille there.
So I met Lucille at Breakthrough to Success. We actually happened to be in a group together. And I don't believe in coincidences. And I know that God just ordained it to be that way. And just the same way I met you, I think we also did some kind of work together. People are brought to your path for a reason. And Lucille got to know about the foundation, and she took a total interest in the Bosisa Foundation. And she would text me her thoughts. I mean, literally, she was just pouring ideas and encouragement, motivation into me, and she hasn't stopped.
Yeah, I understand that you share at least once a week. You have a conversation with.
Yes. She sends me, just any sort of encouragement and motivation, ideas. It's phenomenal. It's actually very. She has no idea how much the difference she's made in my life, because to me, this is so passionate that to see that kind of passion come out, just warms my heart.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
And
yeah, we're getting a little bit of a connectivity here.
Oh. Okay.
Okay. We're back again. I'm sorry. What was the last?
Okay. So I was talking about Lucille Willis's book, which I totally advise anybody listening to go out and get a copy, because she gave me a totally different perspective of prayer, God's face instead of his hand. And it just gave me a very intimate way of viewing God and praying and connecting with God.
Beautiful.
And it's one of my absolute favorite.
Well, thank you for the recommendations. And I always ask my guests who are the top three, but I will put all this in the show notes also for those listeners out there. You want to follow along, you will have it, and go out there and reach out. Again, take action. In order for make changes, take action, education, yes. Read audiobooks, and all the good stuff is out there. So, Ayesha, we have a couple more questions before we wrap up this wonderful interview here, this conversation, knowing more about you and looking forward to know more about you in the future. If you were conducting this interview, what one question would you ask yourself and why? I know it's a big, challenging question. This was asked to me years ago, and I always have it in my list of questions when I speak with others. And can you give us some insight? If you were conducting this interview, what question would you ask yourself and why?
To myself, I would probably address my younger self.
Okay.
Can I twist the question around?
Oh, this is yours. It's all yours, Ayesha.
Okay. So, for sure, to my younger self, I would say, I mean, I know it's not a question, but a statement I would make for sure is to relax and know that everything is going to work out for you good. The good things, the bad things, everything comes together, and it makes you who you are at the end of it all. And that the universe supports your growth and evolution in every way. Because I remember being young and sometimes going through some rough patches and thinking life was hard. And looking back now, I know life is never hard. Life is, yes, we may go through experiences that are challenging. But sometimes if you take a step back and you look at it, and you realize that life is going to unfold the way it's meant to unfold, and it's always to support you, whether it looks bad, feels bad, it's there for your good. So to my younger self, if I had shared this information, I think I would have saved myself a lot of
Interesting
heartache.
I have to agree with you. At times I reflect and I go back to say, at what age would I go back, my teenage years, and say to myself, like you said, things will come together. Relax. Be clear. Be focused. In alignment. Let life be. Let life unfold itself. Experience the life that is in front of you, and navigate through those stormy days and stormy nights and those high waters, low waters. The things are there for purpose. So definitely in alignment with your reflection on that there. I like that little twist there. You're the first guest who take a different twist on it. So thank you. Ayesha, I know that you're making a big impact one day at a time, one human being at a time. What imprint or legacy would you leave behind? Let's say it's 100 years from now. It's 100 years from now, and I'm sure that sometime in the future you'll write your own book or books, memoirs, essays. And I didn't even ask you, are you working on a book or have in mind on your vision board to write a book?
Actually, I never did until a cousin of mine, we went on an Alaskan cruise recently, and we did the cruise as self-reflection and meditation time and alone time, because no kids, it was just her and I.
Okay.
And she turned 50, and that's what she kept saying, you got to start thinking of a book, you got to start writing things down. So I believe God speaks to us through people, the universe speaks to us. So I mean, it's something definitely I'm thinking about.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's say you have a book or two or three out there in the next decade. Again, what legacy or imprint you want to leave behind? And when someone will pick up that book 100 years from now, what will they say about Ayesha Ogle?
Well, the legacy I'd love to leave behind is just the power of giving back and being of service. My dream and my prayer, my goal is to demonstrate that in a way that is relatable to the average person, because I didn't come from very humble beginnings, and even where we are right now, I can see how much we've achieved. And if we continue on this path, I pray that 100 years from now that it's grown so much that it's obvious and resonates with anybody that's willing to step into the ground. Because there's many children out there, and I keep making reference to Africa because that's where I'm from, and there's a lot of poverty, real poverty in Africa. Many children, they have a lot of potential and they have a lot of power and potential, but will never ever achieve their goals unless they're given a chance to. Okay. And my legacy is to give many children the opportunity to achieve their goals.
I love it. And, we all have dreams within each and every human being. We have a dream and we have a passion. And and that's your goals. And 100 years from now, we're going to look back and say, this beautiful woman, Ayesha, is a beautiful human being who made a difference in the world. That's awesome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Ayesha, where can the audience find more about you? Tell us any social media, website for the foundation, and also a list on the show notes. So please tell the audience, where can we find you?
Okay, so for sure, we have a website, and it's busisa.org. So it's BUSISA.org? .org, yes.
Okay.
And also our Facebook page is Busisa Foundation. We're also on Instagram. And I want to say that's also busisa.org. Oh, no, hold on. I'm sorry. So my kids are very much involved, and my son is the one that is the
social media
technology savvy.
I love it. Okay.
The social media expert. Yeah. So
I'm sure the audience will find it. I'll put it in the show notes. Go ahead.
They'll find it. Right. Yeah, and we're also on Twitter too.
Beautiful.
As Busisa Foundation.
Now,
right.
And they, if they want to contact you, they contact you via. What's the best way to contact you? Through the through the website.
Through the website, we have a contact portal at the bottom of the page.
Okay.
Let me look. Yeah, we have a contact information, but I could also. I don't mind you posting my email address, which I can email to you.
Okay.
Which is it's Ayesha Ogle at busisa.org.
Okay.
Is my email.
I will put that in the show notes. So folks hear that. Try to make an effort to go on to the websites and look more into it. And if you feel inspired, empowered to provide support at this wonderful cause and foundation that Ayesha has, and give her a shout out and look into it and see where you can be of any of service with her. So definitely we'll have all those things on the show notes, Ayesha. Beautiful. Thank you very much. So Ayesha, before we go, what last comments or inspiring encouragements before we say farewell? Until next time.
Well, firstly, I just want to congratulate you. I'm so proud of you and all the work you are doing. It's absolutely amazing. And I know you and I chatted before this, I think last week on the phone, and we kind of caught up with where we were on our journey towards
yes.
our growth. I was really impressed and totally I also want to say regarding the foundation, we started Busisa Foundation not because we had excess money or wealth. We started it just to give back. But the rewards that we have seen in the children and in our lives have been absolutely phenomenal. We actually just had our website redesigned. So I was going through our pictures and where we started to where we are now. I mean, you can see a difference in the children and how they've thrived over the years. The joy and the peace, I just cannot fully express the amount of, that being involved in something like that has brought to us, and also the miracles that have happened in our lives that are totally unexplainable. And it's just been a phenomenal journey. And I would advise anybody that has any interest in doing it to just start where you are. I mean, it doesn't take much to make a difference in the world. You don't need tons of wealth to make a difference. And even if it's just one life, it's a lot. And today is actually a special day too, because my kids are actually down in Skid Row in LA, downtown LA, doing a food drive right now as we speak. And I know it's the evening there for you, but it's 5 o'clock for us in California. So, I mean, they do it with such passion, and they love, and I can see them just, their lives just thrive by doing what they're doing. So I want to thank you for allowing me this opportunity to talk about it, and hopefully somebody out there that is looking to make a difference, especially from a financial point of view. We tend to hold on when we don't have. The less we have, the more we try to cling onto what we have. And yet that's a perfect opportunity to actually open your hand and give, and then see what happens in return.
So beautiful.
And it's, yeah.
Beautiful. Well,
Thank you.
Ayesha, you're doing a wonderful job out there, and many blessings. God bless you. And one of our X factors to success is faith, and you truly have faith, and you have family and friends built into this life of yours, and the spiritual fitness, the financial part of it also. These are all X factors to whatever you're achieving, and truly you are a beautiful testimonial, and from something very small, creating a compound effect of change in the world. So I want to thank you for taking time. I know maybe you would have gone to the food drive with your family, but you're spending a little time here, an hour with the X Factors to Success podcast show. Many blessings, much continued success to you, and it sure is a true blessings to have met you at Breakthrough to Success through Jack Canfield's training. And you can see truly, for those of us who are looking to go to seminars and reading different books, Ayesha, we crossroads, and look at us now. We're making a difference, as you said. So I look forward to have you on the show.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Again. And you're more than welcome to come in and speak about your success and your continued journey. Ayesha, please reach out to me. Let's keep our communications open and see how we flourish to make a difference in the world.
Absolutely. Sure will. And thank you so much for reaching out. And I know that the sky is the limit for you. Well, you're just doing absolutely amazing work. And thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for that.
Thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, you've listened to Ayesha Ogle, and truly a blessed, beautiful woman that making a difference in the world. Please check her out on our website. I'll leave all the show notes down there, and reach out to her. I'm sure she'll be more than glad to respond to you and to share with you her doings. And don't forget, you are listening to the X Factors to Success podcast show. And again, the reminder, the 5 key X Factors: faith, family and friends, fitness, finance, and fun. Until next time, please check us out on www.xfactorstosuccess.com and our Facebook page, Instagram, Twitter, and reach out to us. Please rate, share this show. I repeat, share this show with your family and friends, and hopefully they could be inspired and to be motivated to make changes in their world. Live with purpose, passion, and make a difference every day.